Hi, my name's Eva Reguer, and I will be giving a 5-minute Ignite talk on fracking in the Yukon, Canada, and the potential risks that it presents to the local populations of woodland caribou. The Yukon has a population of 36,500 people, of which 75% live in Whitehorse, the Yukon's capital. It is a little known fact that the caribou population is larger than the human population, and even the moose population outnumbers people 2 to 1. Unlike many other places in the world today, the Yukon Territory has managed to remain relatively undisturbed by human activity and development. 20% of the territory is inhabited area, and the remaining 80% is vast expanses of wilderness area. From mountain ranges, glaciers, lakes, cold water rivers, boreal forests of the taiga, and the stark landscape of the Arctic's frozen tundra, this territory encompasses critical habitat for numerous different species, including the woodland caribou. Caribou are migratory species that require a vast range of habitat. Most of the Yukon's caribou are barren ground caribou at an estimated population of 123,000. The territory also has 20 small herds of woodland caribou totaling about 25,000. These are listed as vulnerable by the Canadian government. Oil and gas exploration has revealed 2 large shale basins located in Eagle Plain and the Liard Basin. These are areas of which hydraulic fracturing activity could take place. Luckily, these sites have been protected from fracking with a moratorium since 2012. Unlike conventional natural gas, which is trapped below a layer of impermeable rock, shale gas is trapped within impermeable shale rock, making it much more difficult to access, which is why hydraulic fracturing is required. First, a well is drilled into the ground and encased like a pipeline. Second, a mixture of sand, water, and chemicals are injected into the drilled pipeline at high pressure. The mix cracks the shale, allowing gas to flow out and get pumped to the surface. Each job uses about 1 to 8 million gallons of water, around 40,000 gallons of over 600 different chemicals, including known carcinogens like arsenic, cyanide, and formaldehyde, and about 50 to 80% of this toxic fluid is left in the ground. One of the main issues with fracking is that there's a serious lack of information as to the potential environmental impacts it might have, though some of the impacts are clear. There are massive volumes of water consumption, noise pollution, habitat fragmentation, and methane pollution. Again, very little research has been done as to the potential health impacts of fracking, but there's concern over contamination of groundwater and consequently drinking water, contamination of soil and consequently food, and air pollution. Here's a photo of the more southern reach of the Eagle Plains Basin during the summer months. As you can see, it encompasses a vast expanse of pristine wilderness. Thanks to the moratorium, it has remained relatively undisturbed, still today. Exploratory activity is still permitted, and in 2013, the Yukon government awarded 15 exploration permits to Northern Cross. 350 square kilometers of seismic grid lines were cut into this area. This is an aerial view of the results of this exploratory activity. Different provinces in the country, such as Alberta and BC, allow high levels of fracking activity. This is a photo of Fort McMurray, Alberta, where seismic lines and exploration stretch as far as the eye can see. In areas with high fracking activity, forest habitats are fragmented, which negatively affects caribou as they require forest cover to hide from predators. Wolves benefit from this situation as hunting is made easier. Consequently, wolf populations increase and caribous decline. From 1992 to 2008, the East Side Athabasca caribou herd, which is a species of woodland caribou, has seen a 65% decline. A considerable amount of published research indicates that this decline is a result of habitat alteration leading to excessive predation by wolves. As well as being a huge part of First Nations and Inuit history and culture and tourism and recreation, caribou are an indicator species that are very sensitive to changes in the environment. If they are suffering due to environmental change, it is likely that other species are being impacted as well. The Yukon Conservation Society is opposed to fracking. All 14 First Nations with traditional territory in the exploration area are opposed to fracking, as well as the majority of the Yukon residents, and the Chief Medical Officer has expressed serious concern about the lack of health impact review. This public opposition to fracking does not seem to be restricted to the Yukon. The results of an ECOS research poll found that 70% of Canadians surveyed from all over Canada would back a fracking moratorium until it is scientifically proven to be safe. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Please spread the word on why the Yukon, Canada should remain frack-free.